We're truly excited to be here on the campus of Oak Cliff University, here in Huntsville, Alabama, with a great and highly esteemed preacher by the name of Dr. and Bishop Freddie Haynes of the Friendship West Baptist Church. We're going to get started with just a few questions. If you have some, if we have time, we'll try to make time available for you to ask them. But Bishop Haynes, first of all, we're just truly happy and excited to have you here with us today. How do you feel?
Wonderful. It's been inspiring to hang out with my Seventh-day Adventist brothers and sisters and to see God moving so powerfully through them has inspired me. So I'm honored to be here.
Praise the Lord. And of course, I'm joined here as well by my co-host, Pastor Emmanuel Harlan. And we're just going to jump into our questions right now. Now, Bishop Freddie Haynes, one of the things that we're truly appreciative of you, other than your alphabetical gift, is just you being able to have the courage to speak truth to power and to talk about justice from the pulpit, which there are many people that are actually afraid to do. And so one thing as we were looking at your website, we saw that you have a position called the Minister of Justice for your church, held by someone by the name of Daniel Ayers. Can you tell us more about your justice ministry and what she actually does for your church?
Danielle has been working with us for over 10 years now, and so basically we hired her because we wanted to ensure that justice was part of the system and the structure of the church. So everything we do is connected to justice, because we recognize that to follow Jesus is to follow one who not only fought for justice, and for us, we borrowed the definition of justice from Michael Eric Dyson. Justice is what love looks like when it speaks in public. And so in terms of public policy, through Danielle Ayers, we have fought the heavy loan industry in the state of Texas and around the country. We organized it and became the headquarters for it. The most recent thing we've done was to form a coalition of justice that we led that basically was trying to recapture the narrative that had been stolen from Colin Kaepernick and the NFL players, and to put the spotlight back on the fact that there is police misconduct. There is a criminal justice system that is unjust. And Jay-Z pointed out a few weeks ago in the New York Times, the probation system conspires against black and brown and poor people. Not to mention the bail bond system, which again, if you're rich, you can bail out right away. If you're black, brown, and poor, you will be in jail a lot longer than perhaps your sentence would be, all because economically you don't have the resources. So look what happens. It kills the family because if I'm a brother whose job is now in jeopardy because I'm in jail and I can't raise the money for bail because I got all these bills to pay. So we're fighting to reform bail. We're fighting to reform the policing system. We're in conversations right now with the police chief in Dallas. And as a consequence, we're looking at some groundbreaking things that will take place. But none of that happens if I don't have Danielle Ayers organizing our justice work. And so just as we have a youth pastor, children's pastor, pastor of counseling, we have a justice pastor, but that justice work, again, defines who we are as a church and has us out there on the front line.
I love it, because I think what we take time
what we take the time and what we put personnel to truly shows our focus and shows the intentionality. So I love that you have a minister that's focusing specifically and really leading the charge on that justice. So I think that's amazing. And it's a good idea and a good example for the rest of us that are in ministry to consider having. Now, a question that I have for you, given the current political climate, I would be interested to know your thoughts on comparing the civil rights era and what we're dealing with now. Because some people would say that this is a strange repeat, that we, in some ways, we've made progress as people of color, and the justice system, maybe not. So what are your thoughts on, when we look at what's currently happening in our country with our justice system, how would you compare and contrast this to the civil rights movement?
Powerful question, and I hope we're awake to, I like the word awake, woke to what's going on in the nation right now, because it's almost cyclical, and that we've come back to fighting some of the same fights that were fought in the 50s and 60s. Why? Because when you study history, even in this country, the justice system and the policing system has always been used as a weapon of oppression. Always. And so you go back to what? As we said in the sermon, the slave patrols, the convict leasing system, the black codes, and then in the 50s and 60s, who you have? You have Bull Connor in Birmingham, Jim Clark in Selma. They were using the justice system and the policing system as a weapon of what Laura Hill calls social control. And so with that being the case, here we are in the 21st century, 2017, and again, you have the bail system, you have the criminal justice system, I mean the whole prison for profit. That's a joke right now, where you literally have people getting rich off of our confinement. You can invest in prisons on Wall Street.
That's right.
And there's something sick about that, because again, everything that is a business needs a commodity. Black bodies have become the commodity in the United States. And so for me, it's almost as if, okay, it's a more sophisticated morphing of injustice by what's happening right now, and that's why I think we have to be woke to what's going on. As Angela Rice says, it ain't just about staying woke, it's about working woke. Yeah.
That's good.
Let me just follow up with that and ask you this. How do you stay engaged at a fight for social justice? How do you not get frustrated or disillusioned after a while? I mean, you have all these marches, you have all these fights. Someone may ask, I mean, is anything really changing? What are we really accomplishing through all these protests? How do you stay engaged and keep your fire?
Right. Well, one of the things I'm learning is the importance of never minimizing the wins. When God gives you a victory, celebrate the victory, analyze the victory, and then keep it moving. One of the things that came out last week, which is very interesting in terms of analyzing all of it, you have the NFL owners who came up with this $100 million, and you break that thing down, it's like, okay, well, I've got no concerns there. But the fact of the matter is, you have NFL owners right now who are talking about investing in causes of social justice. Would that have happened had there not been the protest movement? No way. It's only happened because someone raised consciousness, someone made the country uncomfortable, someone took their platform and used it to give a voice to people who don't have a voice. And so I made up my mind to always thank God for the wins. For example, in Texas, we have more payday loan stores than we have McDonald's and Burger King combined. And so what we did, we began to fight that thing, and as a consequence, a payday loan store down the street from our church, it closed because we protested that store. We opened up our own micro loan fund so people don't get ripped off by the payday loan industry. And then we went to Austin to protest. We went to Dallas, and as a consequence of that, Dallas passed the most strict zoning laws for payday loan and car title loan stores in the country. So strict are the zoning laws, the payday industry sued the city of Dallas. And other cities like San Antonio and Houston then followed the Dallas model. It would not have happened, and I ain't bragging, but it would not have happened had we not had Daniel Ayers, our Minister of Justice, do the research on it, tell us what we could do, and then force Dallas to step up and handle business. And so that's a win. And we still got the payday industry, they still doing their dirt, but they know they have a fight on their hands, and for me, that's a win.
You just follow up really quick on that. What would you say to some pastors or churches, or many pastors, who do not want to engage in social justice at all? Who think that there should be a separation, we should leave that to politics, we should leave that to elected officials and government, the church should focus on spiritual issues. What would you say to them?
Right. And so I would just say, read the Bible.
That's right.
When you read the Bible, there are over 1,000 references to justice in Scripture. 1,000 references to justice. So if God is concerned about justice, then maybe we ought to be concerned about justice. Politics, definition, is the art of distributing resources. If that's the case, My Bible says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the water they that dwell therein. So if the earth belongs to God, politics is about distributing resources on God's earth. Then maybe God's people ought to have something to say about how those resources are being distributed. And so my thing is, it's very important to read the Bible. If you read the Bible, you're going to have to fight for justice. Follow Jesus. Jesus says, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me. He's anointed me to preach good news to the poor. What is good news to the poor? Good news to the poor has to do with policies that become good news for those who are impoverished.
Yeah.
And so when you have a tax bill that's about to basically strangle this country, if we're not careful, especially poor people, that ain't good news for poor people. And God is asking preachers, follow Jesus and have an anointing that speaks about good news for poor people. Good news for the poor. Set the captives free. Heal the broken. Matter of fact, my thing is, if you're concerned about justice, Jesus, have concern about the country. Because for me, I hate to say it, Freddie Hayes remix, Jesus will separate the nations. Matthew 25.
Yes, sir.
Sheep from the goats. The nations, not individuals, nations. Freddie Hayes remix. I was hungry, and you cut food stamps. I was thirsty, and you rechanneled water in Flint and poison.
Yes, sir.
I was a stranger, and y'all built a wall.
Right.
When did we do this? Whenever you do it to the least of these, you do it to me. He's talking about a nation, public policy. So if I'm a preacher preaching Jesus, I can't ignore that part of it. So, and to me, if you, and please forgive me, but if you black, how do you think about Bible? How do you think about black church and not think about resistance, liberation? The black church was born resisting and in liberation. And so again, for me, I just read the Bible and right there it says, bam, justice.
Okay, now we know many of you have questions, so there's a number for you to text your questions to. Text your questions to 59769. Again, that number is 59769. We have about 15-ish more minutes.
Let me give him some more water.
So make sure that you, when you text your questions, that you start with the word refocus. It helps us be able to read and to pick up the questions easier. So again, text your questions to 59769. Again, 59769. Make sure you start with the word refocus. We have about 10 more minutes. So as you all are texting in your questions really quickly, I'm going to slide in one more question. So a lot of our churches and our communities are integrated. And so the rate at which our churches are looking different, black, brown, yellow, white, faces, is changing. So what advice would you give to ministers when it comes to really leading and preaching with social justice, with advocating on behalf of those, without coming across as the anti-black preacher?
That's a great question. My thing is to focus again on issues of justice and injustice as opposed to personalities. One of my great temptations now is to not focus on the personality in the White House, because what he's done is really thrown race right back in our face. And so the church, especially churches that have courageously and lovingly stepped beyond the boundary of race and said, you know what, we're going to worship our one God together. Those churches, for me, like the church at Ephesus, they have the best opportunity to lead the nation in an honest conversation about, and again, I emphasize honest, because the truth sets you free, the lie keeps you locked up. And as long as we are honest and truthful and loving, those churches, I believe, have the best chance to facilitate a conversation, again, rooted in honesty and love, that will set this country free. Because the sad reality is, the nation historically has taken its cues about race from the church.
Thank you. Someone texted in the question, they wanted to ask you about the NFL blackout that is happening right now. Of course, there are several preachers around the country, but a lot of people actually who are blacking out the NFL for the treatment of Colin Kaepernick. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, and I'm glad you're asking me that here because they need to get their props. Before the